Hi, so good evening, guys. Am I audible? Hi, good evening. Audible, right? Okay, fine. So done. If there's any doubt in the previous class, kindly let me know. Any doubt in the previous class? Okay. Okay, fine. So no doubts. Okay, so let us start with India-Sri Lanka relation, and as we saw earlier, yeah, hi, good evening, area. So as we saw in the yesterday's class, India Sri Lanka relation. In order to understand India Sri Lanka relation, first we need to understand the evolution of the political system in Sri Lanka. So I'll again summarize what was the evolution of political system in India. So in Sri Lanka, sorry. So your Sri Lanka as such was a colony. It was a colony of British Empire. So what happened was that both India and Sri Lanka got independence at the same time, almost at the same time. So from 1948 onwards, we are having a good diplomatic relation with Sri Lanka. But however, Sri Lanka, what happened in Sri Lanka was that from 1948 till 1956, the Sri Lankan government was very good, in the sense it was an inclusive government. Even though the government was run by the Sinhala community, or the majority community, but however, from 1948 till 1956, the government was very good as such, matlab inclusive as such. That is, all the minorities were accounted. But what happened after 1956 onwards? Yeah, what happened after 1956 onwards? Yeah, from 1956 onwards, what happened was that the Sri Lankan government started imposing the majoritarianism approach. Majoritarianism approach means consider making Buddhism as the national religion, making Sinhala as the national religion. But however, if you see Sri Lanka, there are a lot of minorities, be it Tamil minorities, Islamic minorities, Christian minorities. They are there. But however, the majoritarianism started in 1956. As a reason, what happened from 1956 onwards till say up to 1970, most of the government policies were mainly empowering the majority community, and there's a massive discrimination against the minority in this period, that is post 1956 onwards. So what happened? So by 1970s, see here, please focus here, from 1970s onwards, that is your minorities in Sri Lanka, they started protesting against this the majority government. So as a reason, political protest was going on after 1970s. Because why was a political protest? Because the minority, the government was a majoritarian government, was promoting majoritarianism, and the government was discriminating minorities. who is the most important principal minority in Sri Lanka? It is Tamil. So the Tamilians in Sri Lanka, they are the principal minority. And by the way, you have to know this point that the Tamilians in Sri Lanka, they were taken from India to Sri Lanka by the Britishers. Since Sri Lanka was also a British colony, in order to work in the tea estate or say tea plantation, Britishers took Indians from India to Sri Lanka. So, and that's how you have this Tamil minorities in Sri Lanka. So these Tamil minorities, they settled in Sri Lanka itself. They did not go back to India. So the principal minority in Sri Lanka is Tamil people. So what happened from 1970s onwards, your Tamil people in Sri Lanka, so they started revolting against the government because the government was discriminating the minorities. And here you have to note that from 1970s, Indian government was also favoring this Tamil because that was completely ethical, right? How can a government discriminate a minority section? So that's completely unethical across the world, not just in Sri Lanka, across the world it is completely unethical. That is, the government cannot discriminate minority. So government was discriminating minority in Sri Lanka. So Indian government supported those minorities in the sense, whenever I tell minority, please consider it as Tamil is the principal minorities. Okay, fine. So other minorities are also there. Islamic group is there. A Christian group are there, but they are very small in number. But the principal minority in Sri Lanka is Tamil. So the government was against Tamil, and India started supporting this Tamil minorities in Sri Lanka. But what happened? Please see here. What happened was that in 1980s onwards, post 1980s to be precise, in 1983, that is after your post 1983 onwards, what happened was that this Tamil minorities, they started using violence. So violence against the state. See, what the Sri Lankan government was doing against the minority is absolutely wrong. It's highly condemnable. But however, this Tamil minorities after 1983, they started using violence against the government. Using violence against the government, Indian government stopped supporting the Tamil minorities because we are a land of Gandhi. We cannot support violence over there. Even though what the Sri Lankan government was doing is completely wrong, we cannot support that. So as a reason, what happened was that after 1983, so we did not support the Tamil minorities. So from 1983 till 2007, 1983 till 2007, sorry, I'm so sorry, to 2009, 1983 till 2000, almost 35-40 years, so a big chunk of 35-40 years, Sri Lanka was under civil war. On and off there was violence. On and off there was bomb blast in Sri Lanka. So there was political instability in Sri Lanka. So from 2009 onwards, what did Sri Lanka do in 2009? Sri Lanka completely eliminated all the extreme groups in Sri Lanka. Sri Lankan government using violence, using army, they eliminated all the extreme groups in Sri Lanka. So as a reason, what happened was that after 2009 onwards, we are having democracy, or say more or less the stable government in Sri Lanka. But from 2009, please focus here, from 2009 till 2022, it is not that Sri Lanka had a very stable government as such, more or less relatively stable. ठीक ठाक चल रहा है, मतलब, it was going on. But however, after 2022 onwards, there was a massive economic crisis in Sri Lanka. Massive economic crisis in the sense high inflation, lack of essential goods like say basic fuel was not there. So because of this, there was a massive civil unrest in Sri Lanka, and because of this civil unrest, the government changed. So the president had to resign, and so the government has completely changed now. And from then onwards, we are having political instability in Sri Lanka. So this is the broad evolution of political system, or say political landscape in Sri Lanka. Fine. Okay, so chalo then. So let's write. Why? Yes. Priyanshu, Indian government support was supporting Sri Lanka's Tamil. One of the main reason was Tamil Nadu, and again, and it was also ethical as such because see, you cannot always neglect the minority section. Even they are also citizen, right? The Tamil people in Sri Lanka, they are also citizen of Sri Lanka. So the Sri Lankan government cannot neglect them, or so cannot discriminate against them. Okay, so everyone has to be treated equally. So that is ethics. But however, Sri Lankan government was not doing that. That was the main reason. Yeah, it is accepted that Tamil Nadu government also forced the union government to take action against Sri Lanka. It's accepted. But however, what union government was or did was also justified because it was on the basis of ethics. Fine. Okay, so chalo then. So let us write this thing. Okay, so write down here. Just 1 second. We are having a good relation on this, Imran. Nothing as such. When we take up the relation, I'll explain further. But now just write on this. Okay, so write down here, political evolution of Sri Lanka, political landscape in Sri Lanka. So write down here, 1948 to just few points. Okay, 1948 to 56. Stable democratic government, stable democratic, stable democratic. Yeah. So it is stable, yeah, democratic, stable democratic government. 1948 to 56. So write down here, 1956 to 1970s. 1956 to 1970s. 1956 to 1956 to 1970s. So what happened between 1956 to 1970s? The government started for following the majoritarianism approach. The majoritarianism approach, in the sense, making Buddhism as a national religion, making Sinhalas as a national language. So that one. So write down here, majoritarianism government. Sri Lankan. Yeah, just write SL. Okay, SL means Sri Lanka. Okay, Sri Lankan. Okay, Sri Lankan government. Sri Lankan government focus started majoritarianism. Majoritarianism. Yeah, started majoritarianism approach and made Buddhism as state religion, and Sinhala as only official language. This led to, right on here, this led to protest, civil unrest. This led to civil unrest. This led to civil unrest, civil unrest and protest, civil unrest and protest in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka by Tamil minorities. Fine. Okay, by Tamil minorities. Next point, write down, by Tamil minorities. Okay, so next one, write down, 1970s to 80s, civil unrest and unstable government. Civil unrest and unstable government. So next one, write down civil unrest and unstable government. So next one, write down 1983 till 2009. Violent, violent civil war, violent civil war, and unstable government. Violent civil war and unstable government. 2009 till 2022, a relatively stable, relatively stable government. 2022 till present time. 2022 to present times. Unstable government due to economic crisis. Unstable government due to economic crisis. Fine. Okay, so this were the political landscape, or say political landscape, or say evolution of the political system in Sri Lanka. And here you should note that, see, initial phase, please see here, in this initial phase, India and Sri Lanka were a close partner. That is, during this period, India and Sri Lanka were a close partner. In this period, India and Sri Lanka, the diplomatic relation between India and Sri Lanka had come down because India was against majoritarianism approach. So in India, if you consider, our early leadership did not focus on the or say did not take the majoritarianism approach. Say be it Nehru, or say your early leadership in India, so they were completely against the majoritarianism approach, and were considering everyone as equal, and minorities were given due rights in Indian constitution, and minorities were given due rights, and there was no discrimination against the minorities in India. So as a reason, since Sri Lanka was discriminating against the minorities, on top of it, these Tamils in Sri Lanka are of Indian origin. So Tamils in Sri Lanka are of Indian origin; they have Indian contact. So as a reason, this made India more anger. So as a reason, between 1956 till 1970s, we did not have a great support towards a great diplomatic engagement with Sri Lanka. On top of it, Sri Lanka is not a big country, big economic power where we can have diplomatic ties as such. No major thing with Sri Lanka as such. But however, at the same, that doesn't mean that we had completely stopped the relationship. No, we had good relationship, but it was not very proactive. So it was not very cozy relationship as such. But however, if you see here, 1970s to 80s. So in this period, India had started supporting the Tamil minorities because these Tamil minorities started protesting against the government, against the Sri Lankan government, because of that majoritarianism approach, that is discrimination of the minorities. So as a reason, this Tamil minority people were protesting, and India was supporting this Tamil minority people. But however, what happened? These Tamil minority people, they took up arms, they took up weapons against the state. So as a reason, so from 1983 onwards, India stopped supporting the Tamil minorities. Also, in the sense, officially, India stopped the support to the Tamil minorities because we cannot support violence. So as a reason, so after this also, we did not have good engagements with Sri Lanka. So then what happened in this period itself? See here, in this period itself, we did not it was Sri Lanka who assassinated Rajiv Gandhi. So as a reason, further the relationship got strained, and we did not have a good relationship. And again, it was during Vajpayee's period we reinitiated the relationship, but on the basis that we will not engage anything with respect to the civil war. So that's the basic evolution, and after that, on and off, we are having a good relation. But however, after, please see here, in this period 2009 to 2022, we had a good relation. But however, after 2013, so keep this in mind, after 2013, China's Belt and Road Initiative projects. So after this China's Belt and Road Initiative project, Sri Lanka is slightly tilting towards China. So there is some friction between India and Sri Lanka, but apart from this, there's no major issue as such. Fine. Okay, so right down here, evolution of relation between India and Sri Lanka. Evolution of India-Sri Lanka relationship. evolution of India-Sri Lanka relationship. So again here, India-Sri Lanka relationship is not something new. Since ancient times, we are having a good relation with Sri Lanka. So be it during Ashoka period, Ashoka sent his children to Sri Lanka to promote Buddhism. So even during the ancient period, that is the southern empires, be it Pallavas, Cholas, Pandyas, even these guys had a good trade relation with Sri Lanka. In fact, they had political influence on Sri Lanka also. So these empires like Pallavas, Cholas, it is not that their political power, or say their political assertion was only limited to India. So they had political influence in Sri Lanka also. So even during Pallavas period also, we had connections with Sri Lanka. And coming to your medieval period, sorry, coming to your colonial period, both India and Sri Lanka suffered from the same brutal or say ruthless empire, that is your British Empire. Okay, the bloodlust empire. Okay. So this under British Empire, both India and Sri Lanka suffered from British. So after that, post independence, we are having relationship. So it is not that after independence we started developing good relation with, or say bad relation with Sri Lanka. So our relation with Sri Lanka goes more than 2000 years back. Being very nice one here. Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, I did not think from that angle. Okay, so nice. Bhima Ray is telling we had relationship Rama and Ravana. Okay, fine. Okay, Rama versus Ravana. Yeah, Ramayana relation is also there. Okay, fine. Okay, okay. That's a good idea, Nishant. Yeah, so Nishant is proposing an idea that uh, to take up answer writing session on daily basis for at least 5 minutes. Yeah, that is a good approach. Maybe we can see whether what the students are telling. So based on that, we can do that here. Maybe end of the class we can do that, or say beginning of the class we can do that. So that's also fine. Not an issue. Yeah, present. Yeah, 5 10 minutes easily we can do. Yeah, no, that's not an issue. If you want, we can extend the class also. So if you guys are interested, we can extend the class. Say after 8 o'clock, say 15 20 minutes we can do. Or say if you don't want 15 20 minutes, at least 5 10 minutes also we can do. That's based on your interest. Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay, so chalo then. Okay, so write down here evolution of India Sri Lanka relationship. So write down here historical ties, historical ties. Write down in the ancient time. So write down in the ancient times. Yeah, you can Nishant, not an issue. So write down here in the ancient time. Yeah, ancient period. Ancient period. Write down here. Ashoka sent his children children to Sri Lanka. Ashoka sent his children to Sri Lanka. Just write SL, Sri Lanka. Ashoka sent his children to Sri Lanka to promote Buddhism. To promote Buddhism. To promote Buddhism. Next one, right now. The Southern Empires. Southern Empires. Southern empires are your Pallavas, Cholas, Cheras. So these are the southern empires. Southern empires had economic economic and political ties. Political political ties with Sri Lanka. With Sri Lanka. Political ties with Sri Lanka. So next one, right on. Political ties with Sri Lanka. Colonial period. Colonial period. Both India and Sri Lanka, both India and Sri Lanka was under British British rule. The present Tamil minorities, Tamil minority, the present Tamil minorities in Sri Lanka were taken by British from India. Were taken by a British from India to work in tea plantation, in to work in tea plantation, to work in tea plantation. So this was during colonial period. So now write down here, independence. Post independence. Ishika, is this line fine, or you want this size? So this is A, this is B. Which one? A is fine, right? Okay, so ठीक है. Okay, fine. Yeah. Yeah. So write down here, evolution. That is in the post independence. Post independence. So write down. Okay, so write down here. Post independence. 1948 till 56. 1948 till 56. 1948 till 56. So write down here, 1948 till 56. India and Sri Lanka maintained. India and Sri Lanka maintained good diplomatic relations, as both nations had similar 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 issues. So what are the similar issues? Because both India and Sri Lanka were ruled by were ruled by this thing, that is British. Both India and Sri Lanka were facing high level of poverty, low education, lack of agriculture production. The same issues, both India and Sri Lanka were facing the same issues. So on top of it, Tamil was a close connection. That is, Tamil was a close link. So as a reason, from 1948 till 1956, we had a very good relation between India and Sri Lanka. So write down here. Next one, write down. 1956 till 1980s. So 1956 till 1980s. 1956 till 1980s. 1956 to 1980. So right down here. And due to majoritarianism, due to majoritarianism, due to majoritarianism approach, due to majoritarianism approach by Sri Lanka government, by Sri Lanka government, by Sri Lanka government, India was supporting, India was supporting, India was supporting the Tamil minorities, the Tamil minorities. India was supporting the Tamil minorities. So India was supporting the Tamil minorities. Next one, right on conflicts. That is 1980s to 1990s. Conflicts 1980s to 1990s. 1980s to 1990s. So right down here. Right on, right on here. In 1993, 1983, in 1983, yeah, in 1983, right on, continue. In 1983, the Tamil minorities started using violence. Tamil minorities started using violence. Tamil minorities started using violence. In 1983, Tamil minorities started using violence. Tamil minorities started using violence. As a reason, as a reason, as a reason, India stopped, India stopped, India stopped the support, India stopped the support to the Tamil minorities. Tamil minorities. India stopped the support to Tamil minorities. India stopped support to Tamil minorities. So then write down here one see again. Now please focus here. Now Ernst, stop writing and understand what happened between 1980 to 1990. This is very crucial for understanding the India-Sri Lanka relationship. So 1983, this Tamil minorities in Sri Lanka, they started using weapons against the Sri Lankan government. So as a reason, India stopped the support to the Tamil minorities. Earlier, we were giving moral support. Moral support in the sense we were also raising issues because these Tamil minorities, because of the atrocities done by the Sri Lankan government, these Tamil minorities were coming back to India and as a refugee. So again, if we have a lot of like what happened in Bangladesh crisis, 1971, lot of refugees were coming into India, and it was it was not able to manage for the Indian government. So as a reason, similar things were going on in Sri Lanka. Tamil minorities were entering into India. So as a reason, India had to take some steps, and it was not that your Sri Lankan government was quiet. Your Sri Lankan government was using was also using weapons against the Tamil minorities. On one side, this Tamil minority started using weapons against, started using arms against the Sri Lankan government. On the other side, the Sri Lankan government also started using arms against, started using weapons against the Tamil minority. So a full-fledged civil war broke out after 1983. So because of this, what happened? There was a lot of refugee crisis from 1983. Please see here, from 1983 till 1987. So till 19 and note this year. So this is quite important. From 1983 till 1987, there was a full-scale civil war that was going on. Your Tamil minorities led by this Prabhakaran. So Prabhakaran is this LTTE guy. So LTTE is a minority group which was fighting for the rights of Tamil in Sri Lanka. And this LTD, the leader was Prabhakaran. So under his guidance, this Tamil minorities were attacking the Sri Lankan government, and this Sri Lankan government was also attacking the Tamil minorities. A full-fledged war broke out between 1983 till 1987, and this was causing a refugee crisis in India. So as a reason, what happened? Indian government intervened in this matter. So Indian government, Rajiv Gandhi. So Rajiv Gandhi intervened in this matter, and we signed something called as a India Sri Lanka Accord. So India Sri Lanka Accord was signed. So as per this accord, India would negotiate with the Tamil minorities. See, what was the issue? The issue was that so between this 1983 to 1987, just understand there are only two issues. The Tamil minorities wants autonomy for them. That is, they don't want majoritarianism rule. That is, the Tamil minorities want autonomy. Tamil minorities means the northern part of Sri Lanka. So if you see here, so Sri Lanka map, these guys, this region, if you see here, this region. So this region, they want autonomy. Autonomy in the sense, currently our northeast region, there's autonomy. The sense of autonomy that is given in the constitution only. There are district administrative council, tribal TAC, DAC are given. Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 in Indian constitution gives a lot of autonomy to the northeast region. So similar on the similar lines, not exactly the same thing. On similar autonomy was also demanded by this Tamil minorities. But however, the Sri Lankan government was not ready to give this autonomy. So what India did was that India intervened in this matter, and India told that, "Okay, we will ensure that these Tamil minorities get the autonomy, and at the same time, we told to the Sri Lankan government that we will speak with the Tamil minorities and make them to drop all their weapons and make them and so that both of them can sit across the table and negotiate it." So Sri Lankan this Tamil minorities in Sri Lanka, they were using weapons. So in India Sri Lanka Accord, what we told was that in 1987 was India Sri Lanka Accord. So in this 1987, we told that India would mediate between Sri Lankan government and Tamil minorities, where these Tamil minorities have to drop all their weapons, have to stop the violence, and the Sri Lankan government should give them autonomy. So this was there in Sri Lanka Accord, that is India Sri Lanka Accord. So this happened in 1987. Any doubt till here? 1980. This is a very important thing. This changed the entire dynamics of India in the South Asian region. So this incident, this India Sri Lanka Accord, changed the entire dynamics in the South Asian region. Fine. So why did India enter into Sri Lanka? Why did India enter into Sri Lanka? Because there are a lot of refugees from Sri Lanka entering into India. So in order, and it was not manageable. And secondly, India also wanted to assert its power, because there was a 1983 say 1987 tak, there was a huge civil war, a big civil war broke out in Sri Lanka. If India did not intervene, some other big power will come and intervene. So that was another thing. So because of that, India intervened, and India signed an accord with Sri Lanka, that is known as India Sri Lanka Accord. As per this agreement, India will ensure that these LTTE group, this LTTE gang, so they give away, they give up, this LTTE gang, so they give up violence, and this government, that is Sri Lankan government, will give autonomy to the Tamil, so to the Tamil region, or say that's known as the Jaffna region, or say northern Tamil, northern Sri Lanka region. So this was decided in 1987, and here please note that in order to implement this accord, what India did now, so it is considered in hindsight, it is considered as a bad move. It is considered as a not a good move as such in hindsight. So see here, what India did now, India sent our army into Sri Lanka. So this army was known as IPKF, Indian Peacekeeping Force. IPKF is Indian Peacekeeping. I will dictate. I will write everything. Just listen to this evolution. So in order to implement this India Sri Lanka Accord, India sent our IPKF. That is, our India sent our military forces into Sri Lanka. because in Sri Lankan India Sri Lanka Accord, it was accepted that there was no coercion as such. That is, India did not put a gun on the head of, say, Sri Lankan government and tell that you have to sign the accord. No, it was Sri Lankan government also with consent signed the accord. As per the accord, it told that under India's supervision, or say under India's observation, the LTT group should give away violence, and Sri Lankan government should give autonomy to the Tamil minority region. So that was decided with consent. With consent in the sense, the Sri Lankan government accepted to it. As a reason, what happened? We also thought that, okay, now that the Sri Lankan government in itself has accepted this, let us go and implement it. So as a reason, what we did, we implemented. And again here, this LTTE had a lot of weapons. In order to control this, India sent our army. So India sent our peacekeeping force. When India sent our peacekeeping force, on one side, this Sri Lankan government, which had signed agreement with India, it started telling that you are violating our sovereignty. That is, when Indian army went into Sri Lanka, an IPKF 1987. So then Sri Lankan government started telling you are violating our sovereignty, because India has sent army to Sri Lanka. Then on the other side, this LTTE group, they started abusing India, stating that you are an agent of Sri Lankan government. See, we got bullets from both the side. On one side, it was Sri Lankan government who had accepted this India Sri Lanka Accord. In order to implement, we had sent our army there. Why? Why? Because in the Sri Lanka India Sri Lanka Accord, it was accepted that India will ensure that this LTTE gives away the weapons. So if LTTE has a lot of weapons, we should also project the weapons so that this LTTE group will give away their weapons. See, it's something like this. If an opposite person has a gun, so what with words, or say with talks, the opposite person very rarely would give away their guns. So if the opposite person has to give away their guns, you have to show bigger guns. So that is the reason why we sent our army there. So LTT is a small entity. So in order to control LTT, we sent our army there to showcase that, boss, we have a big army here. So, and this Sri Lankan government, they got offended and they told that you are violating our sovereignty. And the other side, this LTT government, LTT started telling that India is acting like an agent of Sri Lanka. So we got bullets from both the sides. So then what happened? We had to, in 1990, we had to take back our IPKF. That is our, we had to take back our Indian army from Sri Lanka. So then what happened? This LTT got irritated. LTT was thinking that India is an agent of Sri Lanka. On the other side, Sri Lanka is criticizing India, saying that you are violating our sovereignty. So in 1990, we brought back our IPKF, that is Indian Army, from Sri Lanka. Then what happened in 1991? This LTTE killed Rajiv Gandhi. So LTTE killed Rajiv Gandhi because the entire narrative was said that India is acting as an agent of Sri Lanka, which is trying to suppress LTTE group. So this happened in 1984, 1983 till 1991. So fine. So right down here. Any doubts in this one? That's what Nilanjan, why LTT killed Rajiv Gandhi, because LTT saw India as an agent of Sri Lanka, but India was never an agent of Sri Lanka. In fact, India wanted to help out this minority group. Yogens, then India did strict action or not. See, these are a bit controversies. What Indian Army did there, or what they did not do there. These are just controversies, or say allegations as such. But let us not go into the allegations or say anything like that. Yeah, fine. Yeah. Yeah, that was the idealistic approach, Yashika. but it backfired us. It backfired us because Sri Lankan government shifted their position. It was Sri Lankan government who signed the agreement, India Sri Lanka Accord, and later on, when India went to implement this India Sri Lanka Accord, Sri Lankan government took a different stance. So on one side, Sri Lankan government started abusing India. On the other side, LTT started abusing India, saying that we are an agent of Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka government is telling that we are acting like a big brother. So yeah. So after this incident, India has never sent any army to intervene in any matter. So even when Vajpayee started negotiating with Sri Lanka, it was explicitly told that when Vajpayee started, and when did the civil war end in Sri Lanka? Civil war ended in 2009. So even during Vajpayee period, even during Manmohan Singh's period, it was clearly told that you can have civil war as many years as possible. We will not enter into your civil war issue. Our engagement with Sri Lanka was only in terms of economics. So after this IPKF episode, we never intervened with Sri Lanka regarding the civil war. So civil was going till 2009. So we didn't even bother about the civil war. Okay, fine. Okay, please write down here. 1983. I think you wrote till here, right? So in 1987, India Sri Lanka Accord, India Indo Sri Lanka Accord. Uh, yeah. So write down here. 1987. 1987. Indo Sri Lanka Accord. Indo Sri Lanka Accord. Indo Sri Lanka Accord. Yeah, Indo Sri Lanka Accord. It was signed by both in Indian and Sri Lankan government. Indian and Sri Lankan government to ensure first one write down autonomy autonomy to the Tamil minority region, autonomy to the minority Tamil minority autonomy to the Tamil minority region. Next one, stopping of violence, stopping of violence, stopping of violence. Stopping of violence. Fine. So next one, write down. Yeah, 1987 till 1990. 1987 till 1990. So write down here. IPKF, Indian Peacekeeping Force. IPKF, Indian Peacekeeping Force. IPKF, IPKF, Indian Peacekeeping Force. Keeping Force. Yeah, there's a very good movie here. If you know Hindi, or if you have time today, you can watch this movie, Madras Cafe. Wonderful movie. So you can watch this movie if you have time today. Okay, or say whenever you have time, you can watch that Madras Cafe. So wonderful movie. So right on here, IPKF, Indian Peacekeeping Force, was sent sent to Sri Lanka, was sent to Sri Lanka to to implement implement the accord, to implement the accord. However, next line, however, Sri Lanka it as, Sri Lanka saw IPKF as, Sri Lanka saw IPKF as a force that violates Sri Lanka's sovereignty, that violates Sri Lanka's sovereignty, that violates Sri Lanka's sovereignty. Next one, LTTE group saw IPKF as an agent of Sri Lanka government, thus resisted resisted IPKF, IPK, IPKF, thus resisted IPKF. Yeah, movie name. Okay, movie name is Madras Cafe. Madras Cafe. It's a very good movie. Okay, so this is here LTT, and then write down as a result, as a result, as a reason, as a result, as a result, India withdrew IPKF. India withdrew IPKF in 1990. So 1991 till 2000. Yeah, that's all right. 1991 till 1999. So next point, write down 1991 till 1999. 1991 till 1999. Yeah, you can make it as 2000. Make it as 2000. 1991 till 2000. Okay, so write down here. Write down here. Okay, post Rajiv Gandhi assassination. Post Rajiv Gandhi's assassination. Rajiv Gandhi's Post Rajiv Gandhi's assassination. India stopped diplomatic relation or say India stopped diplomatic relation with Sri Lanka. Okay, so from 1991 till 2000. So within bracket you write LTT assassinated. LTTE, that is your LTTE assassinated. LTTE assassinated Rajiv Gandhi. LTTE assassinated Rajiv Gandhi. Fine. So LTTE assassinated Rajiv Gandhi. Fine. So next one, right on reconciliation and economic cooperation. So reconciliation and economic cooperation. So 2000 to 2009, reconciliation and economic cooperation. So before Vajpayee, from 1991, before Vajpayee, we did not have a great engagement with Sri Lanka because more or less we had Congress government, and Rajiv Gandhi was a tall figure in Congress, so we did not have good engagement with Sri Lanka as such. Then what happened? Sri Lanka is again a strategically it is important for us because we require Sri Lanka's support to maintain our hegemony in the Indian Ocean region. So we cannot completely neglect Sri Lanka. So as a reason, what happened? We had to reconcile. We had to reconcile with Sri Lanka. So whatever Sri Lanka did for Rajiv Gandhi was very bad. Whatever Sri Lanka did for India during for this India Sri Lanka Accord 1987, that was also very bad. But however, we couldn't completely neglect Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an important element. And what was the policy that Vajpayee was following? Vajpayee was following this IK Gujarat doctrine. So under IK Gujarat doctrine, so he again Gujarat doctrine, under Gujarat doctrine, he again started engaging with Sri Lanka. So right on here. So post 2000, yeah, right on here. Post 2000, post 2000, India started. Post 2000, India started rebuilding, rebuilding diplomatic ties, diplomatic ties with Sri Lanka, with Sri Lanka by focusing on focusing on economic cooperation, by focusing on economic cooperation, by focusing on economic cooperation. Fine. Okay, by focusing on economic cooperation. Okay, so this was the action that India took place. India took with Sri Lanka. So we couldn't completely neglect Sri Lanka. So after 2000, we started rebuilding the diplomatic ties with Sri Lanka, focusing on economic cooperation. So this was right on here. So post next one is post Civil War period, 2009 till the present time. 2009 till present time. 2009 till present time. So between this right on 2009 till present time, post civil war in Sri Lanka, 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 India India started proactive engagements, proactive proactive engagements, proactive engagements with Sri Lanka, proactive engagement with Sri Lanka. However, from 2013, China through China through its BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, China through its BRI, Belt and Road Initiative project, Belt and Road Initiative project is challenging India, India in Sri Lanka. Okay, so from 2009 onwards, all this civil war issue ended, and we had a stable government in Sri Lanka. But what happened was that from 2013 onwards, China, under its Belt and Road Initiative project, is now challenging India. So earlier, India-China was a had a very close relationship. But however, post 2019 onwards, that is, China is funding a lot of infrastructures in Sri Lanka, and China is giving military support to Sri Lanka, or defense equipment to Sri Lanka. So as a reason, Sri Lanka is slightly moving towards China, and this has led to the move of Sri Lanka is challenging India's closeness to the move of China is challenging India's closeness towards Sri Lanka. So this happened during that is from 2009 till the present times. So now write down here area of convergence between India and Sri Lanka. Area of convergence between India and Sri Lanka. So area of convergence between India and Sri Lanka. So write down this area of convergence between India and Sri Lanka. See, both India and Sri Lanka were ruled by British, so we have the same issues, more or less the same issues, and the geography is also more or less similar. So we have a lot of convergence between that is a lot of areas where both India and Sri Lanka is on the same page. The first one is economic engagement. So right down here, area of convergence between India and Sri Lanka. So the first one you write down economic engagement. The first one is economic engagements. The first one is economic engagement. Economic engagement. Economic engagement. So right down here, both countries are emerging. So both countries are emerging economies. Both countries are emerging economies. Both countries are emerging economies which has high potential for trade, and which has high potential for high which has high potential for trade and investments. High potential for bilateral trade. I'm so sorry. High potential for bilateral trade, and investment. High potential for bilateral trade and investment. High potential for bilateral trade and investment. Both are emerging. See, for below this, maybe in a small bracket, you write down India is one of the largest trading partner of Sri Lanka. India is one of the largest trading trading partner of Sri Lanka. Okay, for Sri Lanka, India is one of the largest trading partner. So, but however, in for India, Sri Lanka is not very crucial from economic perspective as such. It is not that India is going to get a lot of economic benefits from Sri Lanka. But however, for Sri Lanka, India is a big market. So when at the same time, India can also engage with Sri Lanka in terms of selling our goods. We sell pharmaceutical and automobiles. That is from India. We mainly sell pharmaceutical and automobiles to Sri Lanka, and from Sri Lanka, the spices come into India. So all the pepper, all the spices come imported spices from Sri Lanka is sent to India, or is exported to India. But however, Sri Lanka also gives us tourism services, or tourist services. So these are the engagements, that is economic engagement between India and Sri Lanka, and it's going to benefit both the parties, both India and Sri Lanka also. And the next one, right on security engagements. So next point, right on security engagements. Security engagements. That is your security engagements. Security engagement. Security engagements. So write down here security engagements. See, both India and Sri Lanka, if you consider the map over here, so this is okay, India, this is Sri Lanka. So both India and Sri Lanka have the same interest in order to maintain security in this region. So in this region, both India and Sri Lanka wants peace and stability. That is, the activities of piracy should be very low, or say it has to be remote, or say the terror movement in this region should be avoided. So security engagement, but that is both India and Sri Lanka are on the same page to ensure security in this region, to ensure maritime security. That is right on here. Both nations, right on here, both nations, both nations want maritime security. Both nation wants maritime security. Maritime security. Both nations want maritime security. Both nations wants maritime security to ensure maritime security in the region, in the region, to ensure freedom of navigation, freedom of navigation, to ensure freedom of navigation, to ensure freedom of navigation. Fine. To ensure freedom of navigation. Okay, it's in the interest of both. That is, India and Sri Lanka both wants security in this region. See, assume that there's a lot of piracy, so there's a lot of terror activities in this region. Can we freely move? Can our goods, can our ships move freely? No. If there is terror activities over here, if there is piracy over here, can Sri Lanka's ship is freely move? No. So it is going to affect the trade for both the countries. So as a reason, it's in the interest of both India and Sri Lanka to maintain security in this region, to maintain maritime security in this region. And the next cooperation and the next convergence of interest is that disaster response. So disaster management. So right on here. So right on here. Next one is disaster management. DM, disaster management response. Disaster management response. Next point is, next convergence of interest is disaster management response. Disaster management response. Both disaster management response. So here write down both both nations face similar disaster. What are the similar disasters that both nations face? What are the similar disaster? Face similar disasters. Similar disasters, like, what are the similar disasters? Like cyclone, good, cyclone, tsunami, tsunami, yeah, cyclone, tsunami, etc. So, so joint, very good, very good. Okay, so joint efforts, joint efforts in managing disaster, joint efforts in managing disasters will help both, will help both nation, will help both nations, will help both nations. Okay, will help both nations. And the next one, right on. Next convergence of interest, climate change mitigation efforts. Climate change, yeah, climate change mitigation efforts. Climate change mitigation efforts. Climate change mitigation efforts. Right down here. As both nations face sea level rise issues, joint efforts in mitigation, joint efforts, joint efforts, joint efforts in climate change mitigation, climate change mitigation will help both. Climate change mitigation will help both. Climate change mitigation will help both. Okay, so climate change mitigation. So climate change mitigation efforts. See, both India and Sri Lanka have similar condition. That is, the Sri Lanka is an island country, and India has a lot of coastal, a very long coastline. And because of the global warming, the sea level rise is increasing. So because of the increase in sea level, we are having a lot of issues. Say, be it coastal erosion, high frequency of cyclones, etc. So both India and Sri Lanka are facing the same issues. So as a reason, joint management of joint efforts in climate change mitigation will help both the countries. So these are the convergence of interest between India and Sri Lanka. So now let us take the divergence of interest between India and Sri Lanka. So what are the divergence of interest between India and Sri Lanka? See, Sri Lanka is one of the closest ally to India, but however, there are some divergence of interest between India and Sri Lanka. So right down here. And again, as of now, there's only one big divergence of interest, that is China factor. But apart from that, there's no big divergence of interest. So right on here, first one is China factor. So first divergence of interest is China factor. First divergence of interest is China factor. Right on China factor. China. First divergence of interest is China factor. China factor. Right on here, Sri Lanka has participated in Sri Lanka has participated in. See, so again, I'll quickly explain here. See here, Sri Lanka has participated in Belt and Road Initiative project. As a reason, Sri Lanka has taken a lot of money from China. So and China has constructed a lot of infrastructure, be it railway line, be it seaport, airport. China has invested a lot of money in Sri Lanka, but the issue is that Sri Lanka is giving their land to China. As a reason, China is able to increase its influence in Indian Ocean region, which India doesn't want, because Indian Ocean region, India is a leader. India doesn't want China to enter into Indian Ocean region and increase China's influence in Indian Ocean region. But what China is doing is that China is investing a lot of money in Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is not able to repay it back to China. So as a reason, China is taking over all those assets. China is taking over all those infrastructure which China constructed in Sri Lanka. And recently, what happened? This is the Hambantota port. Please, everyone, focus here. So this is your Hambantota port. So this Hambantota port was constructed by Sri Lanka. Was constructed by China in Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka was not able to repay back the loan to this Hambantota port, which China constructed. So China took over this Hambantota port, and China is now running this Hambantota port, and it is taken for a lease. Lease is for 99 years. So China has taken over this Hambantota port. The issue was that, so this China had brought their naval vessels, their submarines. China brought Chinese submarines to this Hambantota port. That's a big risk factor to India, because when Chinese submarine enters into Indian Ocean, that is near India, it's a big risk factor for India, because and through submarine they can monitor India's navy, they can monitor India's trade pattern. So this is a big issue. So the dispute, the divergence of interest is that India tells to Sri Lanka that don't completely give your land to Sri Lanka, matlab don't completely give your land to China. So you don't be very cautious with respect to Belt and Road Initiative project. But however, China is moving closer to, sorry, Sri Lanka is moving closer to China. So this is the divergence of interest, the big divergence of interest that we have. So right down here. Okay, Garima, I'll explain here. Okay, so what happened was that, Yashika, the Kachativu dispute and all, it's an election thing here. Okay, so it's not a dispute. I'll explain you today. So it's completely election thing. Okay, so China started this Belt and Road Initiative project in 2013. So they started Belt and Road Initiative project in 2013, and they started funding a lot of countries to build projects, infrastructure projects, mainly the seaport, airport, railway lines. So China has invested a lot of money. If you see the images over here, so this all this region, China has invested. So in this region, China, the southern part of China, southern part of Sri Lanka, China has invested a lot of money over here. So money for building seaport, airport, and railway lines. So now, and China is not doing it for free. So China is doing it for on the basis of loan. So but on the basis of credit. But now the condition is such that Sri Lanka is not able to repay back the loan. Since Sri Lanka is not able to repay back the loan, China has taken over that infrastructure. So China has taken over that infrastructure. So as a reason, now China is managing that infrastructure. So now when China is managing that infrastructure, China's influence in the region has increased a lot. So one example is Hambantota port. In this Hambantota port, this is Hambantota port. China constructed this Hambantota port. Sri Lanka was not able to pay back the loan. Now China has taken over this Hambantota port on lease. So in this Hambantota port, China had brought their naval submarine. So submarine navies, China's navy's submarine was brought into this Hambantota port. So this is India. See here, this is India. So this is India, and this is Sri Lanka. This is your Hambantota port. Your Hambantota port is here. So if China has docked their submarine over here, China can monitor what Indian Navy does in this region. So this was a security issue for us, and we raised this issue with Sri Lanka, and we told Sri Lanka to be very cautious with respect to China. But Sri Lanka is still moving towards China. So that is the issue which we have. This is the divergence of interest between India and Sri Lanka. Fine. Yes, Akshay, it's a debt trap. Debt. So it's a debt trap. Sri Lanka has got caught in a debt trap. Sri Lanka has taken billions of dollars from China at a high interest rate, and now it's not able to repay back the loan. So it has caught in a debt trap. Fine. Any doubt, Garima? All good? Others? Okay. No, okay, fine. Okay. So right on here, China factor. So China factor, right on my first point, right on. Sri Lanka participated in BRI. Sri Lanka participated in BRI. Sri Lanka participated in BRI. BRI is Belt and Road Initiative Project. BRI. Sri Lanka participated in BRI, where Sri Lanka is now unable to pay the unable unable to pay back the loan, unable to pay back the loan to China. As a reason, as a reason, China is now controlling China is now controlling those projects. China is now controlling those projects under BRI. Those projects under BRI. Those projects under BRI. Those projects under BRI. Fine. Okay. So example, Hambantota Port. So example, so write down here, example, Hambantota Port. Tota Port. Fine. So below this write down, India doesn't want China to, India doesn't want, below this write down, India doesn't want Sri Lanka to be close to, India doesn't want Sri Lanka to be close to China and take China's investment under BRI, under Belt and Road Initiative Project, under BRI. Fine, under BRI. Okay, so this is the big issue. Apart from this, all the issue between India and Sri Lanka are very trivial, very trivial in the sense. One is election thing made up this issue. Okay, this fishing disputes. On and off we are having fishing dispute, but however, this Kachativu Island, there's no major issue here. Kachativu Island is a solved issue, so it was taken in the election, but however, it is a resolved issue. So see, if you consider Bangladesh, in Bangladesh 2015 we had given our land to Bangladesh. In Kachativu also, this Kachativu land, so this is Kachativu Island. So this Kachativu Island, the legal title is with Sri Lanka, but however all the fishing rights is with India. So it's like something like this: you can take this house, but however I'll reside in this house forever. So I can name this house on you, but however I will be residing in this house. So how is it an a loss to India? So on top of it, it's a very small island. So yeah, so this is fishing disputes. Okay, so right on here, fishing dispute, and again here, Kachatiwa Island as such is not an issue at all. We do have fishing. Please focus here. Now that the election season is over, now let us come to reality. The reality is that only in this Park Strait there are some issues, fishing disputes. But apart from that, the Kachativu Island, the region around Kachativu Island, there's no dispute as such. It's a settled matter. Fine. Okay. So write down here, fishing disputes. Yeah, Indian fishermen are arrested not in Kachativu Island. Kachativu Island is a resolved one. Let us not rake up this Kachativu Island. So it's a resolved one. So Indian, see, I'll explain everyone, please. Okay. We'll give a break, Ramandeep. I don't want to leave this thing in middle. Okay, boss, as I know, it's a simple concept. So in international waters, so this is international waters, our fisherman unknowingly enter in international sea, whereas in on land boundaries are defined by fencing. So proper fence are there, or either wall is constructed, or it is properly demarcated on land. But whereas in the water, the boundary is not properly demarcated. there is a boundary, that is a territorial boundary between maritime boundary between India and Sri Lanka is there. See, this is the maritime boundary. If you see here, this is the maritime boundary. So there is no pole, there is no fencing as such. So this is an imaginary line that is drawn as per UN clause, United Nations, that is UNCLOS. This imaginary line is drawn. So what Indian fisherman does is that unknowingly they enter into this waters. So without knowing, they enter into their water. That time Sri Lankan Navy catches them. So that is the issue. So that is the fishing disputes between in Park Strait. So this is the main dispute. So fine. So okay, ठीक है. Okay. We'll take a break now. Yeah, we'll take a break. Now it is 6:35, 7:35. Okay, so 6:45. Please come by 6:45. 6:45. Yeah. So right on here, fishing disputes in Park Strait. Fishing dispute in Park Strait. So right on here, Indian fisherman, Indian fisherman, Indian fisherman, Indian fisherman, Indian fisherman enter unknowingly enter. I'm so sorry. Unknowingly enter, unknowingly enter Sri Lankan waters, waters, Sri Lankan waters in Park Strait, in Park Strait, in Park Strait. The Sri Lankan Navy, the Sri Lankan Navy arrests, the Sri Lankan Navy arrests, the Sri Lankan Navy arrests those fishermen, those fishermen. Sri Lankan Navy arrests those fishermen. Again, the issue is that the frequency of Indian fishermen crossing Indian waters and entering into Sri Lankan waters is very high. So as a reason, it is also a complaint from Sri Lankan Navy that a lot of Indian fishermen enters into Sri Lankan waters for fishing. But however, that water belongs to Sri Lanka, right? So the this issue is going on. The Sri Lankan Navy, if they arrest Indian fishermen, they do not release the Indian fishermen quickly. So they take months together to release those fishermen. So this is the fishing disputes in Park Street that we have. And the next dispute is with respect to human right violation. So right on here, next dispute is with respect to human rights violation. Human rights violation. So what is this human rights violation dispute? So the divergence of interest. So this Sri Lanka from 1983 till 2009. Sri Lanka from 1983 till 2009 was having a civil war. So in this period, Sri Lankan government committed a lot of war crimes against the minority. A lot of human atrocities are done against the minorities in Tamil, in Sri Lanka, against the Tamil minorities in Sri Lanka. So as the reason, European Union, so European Union, European countries, so they took up this issue in United Nations, that is UNHRC. So in UNHRC, this issue was taken, and it was decided that investigation had to be conducted. So the resolution was passed in order to conduct an investigation in Sri Lanka and punish the people who committed this human rights violation. So this resolution, please focus here. So 1983 se leke till 2009, there was human rights violation done against the Tamil minorities in Sri Lanka. So the European countries took up this issue in UNHRC, so United Nations Human Rights Council. So in this UNHRC, a resolution was passed whether United Nations should investigate in Sri Lanka and punish the people who indulged in human rights violation or not. So whether should United Nations investigate in Sri Lanka or not, one resolution was passed. So what India did, India told, "ठीक है, there has to be one investigation by United Nations." Sri Lanka doesn't want any United Nations investigation in Sri Lanka because it tells it compromises our sovereignty and we know how to manage our matters. So Sri Lanka is completely against this one. Sri Lanka is against UN investigating in Sri Lanka. But India supported this resolution stating that UN should go and investigate in Sri Lanka. So this is creating a divergence of interest. It is something like this. There is some domestic politics, domestic issue in India. Say for example, currently you can consider Manipur issue. So do will India like United Nations to come and investigate in Manipur? No. But similarly, Sri Lanka also did not like United Nations to go and investigate in Sri Lanka. But what India did, so India supported the resolution. That is, India went against the Sri Lanka's opinion. So in UNHRC. So right down here. So that is the issue. So right down here, UNHRC resolution. UNHRC resolution to investigate the war crimes. UNHRC resolution. UNHRC resolution to investigate investigate the war crimes, the war crimes in Sri Lanka during civil war 1983 till 2009. Okay, supported India supported this resolution. India supported this resolution going against going against Sri Lanka. Going against Sri Lanka. This is UNHRC. This is UNHRC. Fine. Okay. So next one is Tamil issue. So what is the Tamil issue? Again here, India is pushing for the development of the Tamil region. If you consider this is Sri Lanka, if this is Sri Lanka, see the northern part, this northern part region is Tamil minority region. So northern part region is Tamil minority region. India wants development in this Tamil minority region. India is pushing for development in Tamil minority region, but however, the Sri Lankan government is not taking adequate measures. So that is a divergence of interest. So right down here, Tamil issues. Tamil issues. So, so done. Lakshmi done. Okay, fine. So write down others write down Tamil issues. India wants India wants development and autonomy in the Tamil minority region. India wants development and autonomy in the India wants development and autonomy 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 to autonomy in Tamil minority region. Tamil minority Tamil minority region. However, Sri Lankan government or Sri Lanka government is not properly supporting the idea. Is not properly supporting. Is not properly supporting this cause. This cause is not properly supporting this cause. Is not properly supporting this cause. So this is Tamil issue. Fine. Okay, so these are the broad issues that we have between India and Sri Lanka. So the next write down measures to overcome the divergence of interest. Measures to overcome the divergence of interest. Measures to overcome the divergence of interest. So what are the measures to overcome the divergence of interest? So write on the first one. Measures to overcome the divergence of interest. The first one. Yeah, diplomatic diplomatic engagements, diplomatic engagements through high level high level meets, comma, track 1, track 1 and track 2 diplomacy, track 1 and track 2 diplomacy, track 1 and track 2 diplomacy, track 1 and track 2 diplomacy. Fine. Okay, so next one is increasing increasing bilateral increasing bilateral economic increasing bilateral economic ties, increasing bilateral economic ties. Next one is people to people contact, people to people contact, strengthening people to people contact. That's strengthening people to people contact, strengthening strengthening people to people contact. So these are the measures through which we can overcome the divergence of interest between India and Sri Lanka. So now let us take the next aspect, that is, yeah, India and, so which country is this? Nepal. Okay, so good. Okay, Nepal. Okay, so this is Nepal. So India and Nepal. Okay, so right down here, India, Nepal. Good. Okay, so India, Nepal. See, with Nepal, we are having a relation since the ancient times. Buddhism is the connection since ancient times. We are having relation, and even during the colonial period, also Nepal was seen as a protectorate. It was a British protectorate. So Nepal was kind of under British control only, kind of in a sense. It had autonomy, but however, it was seen as a British protectorate. That is, your Nepal was kind of under British itself. So even during colonial times, so we had relation with Nepal, and again post independence also, we are having a relationship. But however, it is only in the recent times, recent, say, last 7 8 years, there are some issues or some disputes between India and Nepal. That's mainly fueled by China. So China is influencing Nepal. So it's fueling Nepal. But however, more or less throughout history, we are having a very close relation with Nepal. Fine. So right down here, okay, yeah, right on this ancient times, India Nepal relationship, evolution of India Nepal relationship, evolution of India Nepal relationship. Please write on this, evolution of India Nepal relationship. Subheading is evolution of India Nepal relationship. Uh, Audible? It's audible, right? Okay, fine, fine. Sorry, yeah, some technical issues. Okay, audible, right? Okay, okay, yeah, okay. So thank you. See here, with respect to Sri Lanka, since ancient times we are having a relation with Sri Lanka. So now what we'll do is that we'll understand the evolution of India-Sri Lanka relationship. So let us start with the ancient time. So right on here, in the ancient time, India and Sri Lanka. So right on here, through Buddhism, that is through Buddhism, India has maintained through Buddhism, through Buddhism, India has maintained relation with India maintained relation with Sri Lanka, Nepal. Through Buddhism, India maintained relation with Nepal. With Nepal. Nepal, just write N and then circle it. So that we'll be using a lot of Nepal word like Nepal. Fine. Okay. So through Buddhism, India maintained relation with Nepal and in the ancient times, and then write down both trade in ancient time. Next again continue here. Both nations, or say both regions had active trade. That is both India and Nepal were having active trade. Even in the ancient times, there was an active trade. And please see here, in Nepal, if you're from North India, mainly the UP, Bihar, the northern part of UP, Bihar, the border between your Nepal and India. Since ancient time, we are having relationship. That is roti beti ka rishta. So in Hindi, it's called as roti beti ka rishta. So we are having relation since the ancient time. So right on here. So yeah, write down here. Yes, Sita. Yeah, even in Ramayana, Sita and all these things. Sita, Lord Sita. So even Ramayana has links with India and Nepal. So write down here. Close cultural contact. Close cultural contact with Nepal. Close cultural contact with Nepal since ancient ancient times. Since ancient times we are having a close cultural contacts. Okay, so next one, right down. Next, colonial period colonial period colonial period. So right down here. So British, write down one point. British, Nepal was Nepal was considered as Nepal was considered as a British protectorate. Nepal was considered as a British protectorate. Trade was active between two regions. trade was active between two regions. During colonial period, Nepal was seen as a British protectorate. Protectorate in a sense, it is a subordinate of British. That is, if anything happens to Nepal, British would go and protect them. So it was considered as Nepal was considered as a British protectorate, and there was proper active trade going on. And since ancient times, Nepal is closely linked with India through culture. The in Nepal, so if you see this Nepal region, so where's the map? Yeah, see here, please see here. Everyone see this region, the southern part of Nepal. So this is your Nepal, the southern part of Nepal. This part of Nepal, they have something called this. The people in this part are called as Madeshi. So they are known as Madeshi people. So Madeshi people, this Madeshi people, they are very close with Indian community. So there are two types of people in the people are grouped into two types. One is Madeshi people and the other one is Pahadi people. Pahadi people. Pahadi people. So Pahadi people live in the north of Nepal. In the south of Nepal, Madeshi people live. So this Madeshi people are very closely linked with India. So they have very good cultural contact with India. So India in the sense mainly the UP Bihar belt. So with UP Bihar belt, they are having a very close contact. But however, your Madeshi people, so however your Pahadi people who live in the hilly areas, they are not very close to India in terms of culture. But however, this Madeshi people, they are closely linked with India since the ancient time. Since this cultural contact is there since the ancient time, even the same thing was followed during British period also. During British period also, we had a close trade and cultural contacts even during the British period. Now let us come to the independence, that is post independence. Post independence evolution, that is post independence period. Post independence, so write down here, post independence, evolution of post independence. Okay, post independence period. Okay, so see here, post independence, in order to understand the post independence relation between India and Nepal, you should understand the political landscape. See, in order to understand, India Afghan relation, we saw the political landscape in Afghanistan. So, it was only during the democracy in Afghanistan we had a good relation with Afghanistan. So, similarly, in order to understand the relation between India and Nepal after independence, we have to see the political landscape in Nepal. So political landscape in Nepal has always been unstable. So since beginning, since 1950s itself, political landscape in Nepal has all more or less it is unstable. So again here, but the good thing is that in Nepal, so broadly, see in Bangladesh. So in order to understand India-Bangladesh relation, we saw the political landscape during military rule in Bangladesh. We did not have a good engagement with Nepal, with Bangladesh. Whenever there is a BNP, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, India, we do not have a good relation with Bangladesh. Similarly, in Bangladesh, who was the party that gave that fought for freedom? Awami League. So Awami League party is very close to India. In Nepal, there's a party called as Nepal Congress (NC). So this Nepal Congress is very close to India. So this Nepal Congress brought democracy in India. So democracy in Nepal. So earlier Nepal was an under, it was a monarch. So king, it was run by an empire, a king. So Nepal Congress fought for democracy, and this Nepal Congress is close to India. So even in Nepal, there are multiple parties. Broadly, we can divide into two parties. One side is Nepal Congress, on the other side is Communist Party. All the Communist Party, yeah, Communist Party. There are various versions of Communist parties. So whenever there's a Communist Party in Nepal, India-Nepal relation is not very great. Whenever there is Nepali Congress Party in India, in Nepal, India and Nepal relationship is very good. So this is the basic thing that you have to understand. Now, keep this in mind. Like in Bangladesh, there are two party, BNP and Awami League. BNP is a nationalist party, matlab right wing party. BNP is a right wing party. So whenever BNP is there, we are not having a good relation with Bangladesh. Similarly, in Nepal, whenever there's a communist party, we are not having good relation with. We do not have good relation with Nepal. But whenever Nepali Congress rules, we have a good relation with Nepal. Fine. So this is the basic thing that you have to understand. So now let us see the political. Communist Party is pro-China. So whenever that's what this whenever Communist Party comes, so that moves closer to China. Whenever this Nepali Congress comes, that moves closer to India. So yeah, so this is the difference. Yeah, this is the broad political landscape. Now please see here, just know the timeline. So once if you understand how all the countries around India has developed their constitution, or say has maintained the political setup, then you will appreciate the leadership. You will appreciate our freedom fighters and the founding fathers in India. So the way they have drafted our Indian constitution, or say the initial leadership that was there in India, it was so great that there's no political instability. So take Sri Lanka, political instability, civil war. Bangladesh, civil war. Pakistan, political instability, armies ruling the government. Afghanistan, civil war. Nepal also, there is civil war. Now we'll take Myanmar, civil war. Bhutan is like still under empire, except Bhutan. So all the neighboring countries in India had civil war immediately after independence. It was only India which where it has the highest diversity. India has the highest diversity among these countries, but still we are still united. It is because of the constitution. It is because of the leadership. So we never followed majoritarianism approach in India. So even in and the leadership and the initial leadership was never a power hungry person. So and all the leadership and all the bureaucrats who were there in the beginning, so beginning part of the independence, that is after independence, they were genuinely working for the nation's progress. And the leadership that we had, it was genuinely working for the nation's progress. So if you consider here in Nepal, what happened was that, so up till 1951, I'll just give a timeline, so you need not remember the timeline as such. So before 1951, please see here, before 1951, it was a empire. It was an empire run by Rana. So this was a Rana empire. So Rana kingdom. So this Rana's regime ended in 1951. It's not one fine day it ended. So before 1951, it was Nepali Congress, NC. So Nepali Congress. In India, it was INC, Indian National Congress, was fighting against British. In Nepal, it was INC, NC. So NC is Nepali Congress. So this Nepali Congress was going against this Rana regime. Rana was the empire. So this Rana regime, in order to bring democracy. So Rana regime ended in 1951, and in 1951 it was decided that we will have a constitution. So when did India get constitution? So when did India get independence? 1947. So when did India's constitution come into place? 1951, right? 1951, Jan 26. So but however, we took somewhere around 3 or around 4 years. So but this Nepal, they decided that we will have a constitution, we will have a government in 1951. 1951, this Rana rule ended. So Nepali Congress, a kind of a fought against this Rana, and this Rana rule ended. From 1951, please focus here. From 1951 till 1959, Nepal, all the political members decided to form one constitution. Nepal has three constitution. India just had one constitution. So Nepal till date, in 2015, Nepal brought another constitution in 2015. So even today, Nepal is highly unstable. So 1950, just think the timeline. 1951, it was decided that ठीक है, चलो we'll have a constitution. In 1959, it was decided that the king decided that in 1951 the king decided that चलो we'll have a constitution. It took almost say a solid 8 to 9 years to make the constitution. In 1959, a constitution was formed, and a government was elected in 1959. ठीक है, government was elected in 1959, and the king thought, and the king felt that he lost all the power, because after constitution all the power came to the government. So in 1959 a government was formed. In 1960 the king dissolved the government. The king dissolved the government, and the king told that the constitution is very bad, so he dissolved the government. There's no, and then removed the government. In 1960 removed the government. From 1960 till 1990 no government in Nepal. So king was ruling. So again the king came back to the power. So from 1960 till 1990 no government was ruling. King came back to power. And again here from 1990, look at this, from 1990 till 2006 it is a new constitution. New constitution was formed, and king was again removed. So in 1990 king was again removed. A new constitution was written in 1990 till 2006, and in between this period a lot of Maoist people emerged. So Maoism, violence. So from 1990 till 2006 there was a full scale civil war, violent civil war was going on, 1990 से लेके 2006. Then in 2006 it was decided that we will have a new constitution. This 1990 wala constitution, the second constitution, is not working. We will have a new constitution. In 2006 it was decided that we'll have a new constitution, and this new constitution was formed in 2015. So 2015 new constitution came, and even today Nepal is discussing on how to implement this third constitution that had come in 2015. So even today they are not completely implementing this constitution. There are so many problems even in this third constitution also. So there's still a political instability in Nepal. So probably I think Nepal has somewhere around 43 or 44 prime ministers. So every 6 months there's a new prime minister. Every 1 year there's a new prime minister. There are somewhere around 40, yeah, around 43, 44 prime ministers as such. So Nepal is more or less a politically unstable entity. But however, the good thing, please focus here. The good thing is that this Nepal, when the Nepal king is pro-India. So the Nepal king is pro-India. So as a reason, it was a good thing for us. In Nepal, Nepali Congress and Nepal king are pro-India. But however, this Nepali Communist Party of Nepal, they are anti-India. They are pro-China. Nepal king, the Nepali Congress, they are pro-India. Communist Party is anti-India. Fine. Okay, so write down here. Broadly, you have to write down. This is the evolution. Again, here you need not remember. Yeah, you need not remember each and everything over here. Have a broad understanding. So write down here. Yeah. Yeah. First point write down. 1951. End of Rana. End of Rana rule. 1951. End of Rana rule. 1951 till 59. First constitution. First constitution framing. 1959 to 1960. Government based on first constitution. Government based on first constitution. 1960 to 1990. The king dissolved the government. King dissolved the government. King dissolved the government. Right on here, 1980s, 1980s, pro-democracy movement, pro-democracy, pro-democracy movements emerged. Pro-democracy movements emerged. Pro-democracy movements emerged. Yeah, next one, right on. 1990 till 2002. 1990 till 2002. Second constitution. This is second constitution. Second constitution was framed and new government was formed. New government was formed. New government was formed. However, new government was formed. However, from 1996 till 2006, from 1996 till 2006, 1996 till 2006, there were Maoist insurgency. Maoist insurgency. Insurgency with violence. With violence. With violence. Fine. Okay. 2006 till 2015. Framing the third constitution. Framing of third constitution. Framing of third constitution. From 2006 to 2015, framing of third constitution. Unstable governments. Unstable governments based on third constitution. Okay, so the broad thing you have to understand is that the monarchy and Nepali Congress, monarchy and Nepali Congress, pro India. Now that we don't have monarchy as such, but whenever there was monarchy, it was pro India. And Communist Party, anti-India. Communist Party anti-India. Okay, this is the broad thing you have to understand. Okay, the good thing is that Nepal, whenever there is political instability, or say whenever there was a monarchy rule, it was pro-India because the king was pro-India. The Nepali Congress was pro-India. It was only in the communist regime, say when did communism emerge? So between this period, see here, between this period 1996 to 2006, it was in this period all the communist parties emerged in Nepal. Communist parties emerged in Nepal in this period, 1996. The violent communist party, the Maoist parties emerged during this period. So these parties are completely against India and say pro-China. But however, Nepali Congress and the monarch was friendly to India. So right on here, evolution of India-Nepal relation post independence. Evolution of India-Nepal relation post independence. Evolution of India-Nepal relation post independence. post independence. So write down here post independence. India Nepal India and Nepal signed a peace and friendship treaty. India and Nepal signed peace and friendship treaty in 1950. India and Nepal signed treaty of peace and friendship in 1950 to boost bilateral bilateral economic cooperation. Bilateral economic cooperation. Next one, bilateral economic cooperation. Security concerns, security measures, bilateral economic cooperation, security measures, energy, and cultural contacts. This is energy security and cultural contacts. Okay. So India and Nepal signed this treaty of peace and friendship in 1950. So as per this agreement, so India and Nepal should increase the bilateral economic cooperation. They have to focus on the shared security measures. So even today, so in this 1950 agreement, it was decided that both India and Nepal would together patrol the borders, together manage the borders. Even today, both Indian army and Nepali army together patrols the border along India and Nepal. So India, Nepal and Tibet. So again, that was decided in your 1950 agreement. And it was also decided that we need to boost the people to people contact, also cultural contact has to be boosted, and energy security. So both India and Nepal should focus on the energy. That is, we should boost the energy security. So this was decided in the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. So again, below this, write down next one write down. It allowed it allowed. So under this Treaty of Friendship, it allowed Nepal to use Indian Indian territory for Nepal's international trade. Indian territory for Nepal's international trade. Okay. So this territory, India Nepal Friendship Treaty. In this agreement, it was decided that Nepal can use Indian territory for Nepal's international trade. If Nepal has to export some goods to, say, a random country, so Nepal can use Indian territory. And why? What's the reason why Nepal? This clause was included because Nepal is a landlocked country. Since Nepal is a landlocked country, that is, Nepal doesn't have any contact to seas. So as a reason, this clause was added in this India-Nepal Peace and Friendship Treaty. So in this treaty, Nepal could use our land for Nepal's international trade. So we had a good relation since beginning itself. Since beginning, we had good relation. So next point, write down. However, see right here. However, however, post, however, post 1990s, post 1990s, due to Maoist, however, post 19 due to Maoist groups in Nepal, it strained, it strained the diplomatic relation. It strained the diplomatic relation. It strained the diplomatic relation. So these Maoist groups, if you see here, yeah, these kind of Maoist groups, so they were completely against India. So the reason why this Maoist group emerged, because the Nepali Congress and the monarch, both monarch and Nepali Congress was pro-India, and this Maoist group was telling that all this Nepali Congress and the monarch are acting like a slaves of India, and India is the one that is ruling the country. So this wrong perception was spread by this Maoist group, saying that the region is not getting developed because of India. Since beginning, this Maoist group is completely India, anti India. So they were telling that there is no development because of India. So if there is any problem, they will blame on India. So because of, and also, had it been a peaceful group, it was okay. But however, this Maoist group, all these Maoist parties that emerged, they were very much violent. So during this period, India did not have a great relationship with Nepal. But at the same time, in this period itself, there was civil war also going on. Civil war, in the sense, full scale violence also was going on between this period. That is during Maoist regime. So as a reason, the diplomatic relation got strained. So next one, right on. However, 2008 till present times. 2008, yeah, you can consider something like this. Yeah, right on here. 2008 till 2015. 2008 till 2015. So right on here, 2008 till 2015. Kindly flip your page and see what happened to the political landscape in Nepal. Political landscape in Nepal. What happened to the political landscape in Nepal? Just flip your page and see. So from 2008 till 2015, what happened to the political landscape in Nepal? In 2008, it was decided that a new constitution. Yes, exactly, Sakshi. Very good. New constitution, third constitution, framing of third constitution was started, and all this Maoist violence had stopped. In 2006, this Maoist violence had stopped. So from 2008 onwards, we started building good relation with Nepal. So right on here, from 2008 to 2015. So India proactively engaged with Nepal. India proactively proactively engaged with Nepal. India proactively engaged with Nepal and supported to frame new constitution. New constitution. Supported to frame new constitution. I'll say this is the third constitution. India actually supported. In fact, India gave our constitution copy to Sri Lanka. To Nepal, because the if you see the case with respect to the population, even Nepal has some amount of diversity, but it's not as diverse as India. Despite being so highly diverse country, India is still united. So that's the reason why we also gave our sample, that is Indian constitution samples to Nepal, and we also actively helped Nepal in framing a new constitution between 2008 till 2015. So in 2015, there was one big issue that took place. So this big issue coupled with China's Belt and Road Initiative, changed the complete landscape between India and Nepal. So what was this issue? Please understand here. See, when did China start its Belt and Road Initiative? When did China start its Belt and Road Initiative? If you see the map over here, okay. So now this is Nepal. So this is Tibet. Yeah. Okay. Belt and Road Initiative was started in 2013. Okay, Nepal, please everyone focus here. Nepal is a landlocked country. Tibet is a hilly area. See, Tibet is a hilly area. So this is Tibet and this is China. So this is China. And yeah, so this is Tibet, this is China. If, please understand here, if Nepal has to export their goods, the easiest path is via India. They can export their good. They can go to Arabian Sea or they can go to Bay of Bengal and export their good. If they have to export their goods via China, it's difficult because Tibet is a hilly area. From Nepal, if they have to come to India, it is India is in the foothills. From Nepal, they can easily go to India, but from Nepal, if they have to go to Tibet, it is mountains are the big mountains are there. It's very difficult to go on the other side. So that's the reason why Nepal doesn't have a good relation with Tibet. So what happened in 2013, and Nepal, more than 99% of Nepal trade happens with India itself. So Nepal, if they have to go via China, via Tibet and China, it's very difficult. So as a reason, Nepal was depending on India. So there is an allegation as such. Yeah, please see here. Yeah, there's an allegation that India had blocked the. See here, what happened in 2015? A new constitution. If you flip the page, please see here. Just flip the page and see the political developments of Nepal. In 2015, what happened? A new constitution was released in 2015. Fine. In 2015, the new constitution, right? 2015, the third constitution. Yeah, unstable government, third constitution, right? Okay, this constitution was not in India's interest. In India's interest means, so there is an, again here, Indian government has completely refuted this. Indian government officially has refuted this, but all the media outlets, the international agencies, everyone are showing this with proof. Okay, and there's video evidence also, so with proof. But our Indian government has completely not accepted this. So what happened was that in 2015, Nepal had a new constitution. This constitution, so this is, please see here, this is your Nepal. So this Nepal, this constitution did not give proper rights to this Madheshi. Nepal, the southern part of Nepal. So let's see here, please see here. I'll use yellow color. This yellow color region, the southern part of Nepal is Madheshi region. They are very close to UP Bihar. The culture of Madheshi is almost same as that of the culture of UP Bihar. The 2015 constitution, so it did not give proper rights to this Madheshi people. Don't go too much in detail, not required. Just understand this. The 2015 constitution did not properly give adequate rights to this Madheshi people. So again, this is an allegation as per government of India. So what government of India did was, or so what government did was, all the all the goods that goes to Nepal is via India. So what India did was, there was a 2015 blockade. Blockade in the sense, India stopped the trade with Nepal. So India stopped petrol supply, India stopped gas supply, India stopped ration supply to Nepal. So what happened? And again here, we did this during Rajiv Gandhi period also. There was a blockade, economic blockade was imposed on Nepal. That was for a short duration, for 1 or 2 weeks. Rajiv Gandhi also did the same thing. So in Rajiv Gandhi period also, the same thing happened. A short economic blockade. Economic blockade in the sense, see, for Nepal, their fuel, petrol, diesel, everything goes via India. Their goods goes via India. Their ration, day-to-day commodities goes via India. What happened was that in 2015, again, it's an, I'm very cautious over here because government of India has completely rejected this allegation. But we do have proof there. Video proof is there. You can watch the video of this 2015 blockade, economic blockade. So much so that the school students could not go to their school because the school vans did not have fuel in them, because there was no fuel. The entire country, the entire Nepal lacked fuel supply. because there was no fuel supply. Fuel supply in the sense, all the fuel supply was blocked, gas supply was, and people did not have gas to cook. So that was the level of scarcity that was created in 2015. Okay, and again here, be very cautious. Government of India has not accepted this. So we told that we did not do any economic blockade. Officially, there was no economic blockade as per the Government of India policy. But however, after this class, just Google this. Matlab in YouTube, just type 2015 Nepal economic blockade. You'll show all the international medias, including Indian media itself, has covered that. So this is the thing. So in 2015, there was an economic blockade. So and parallelly, now just zoom out and see. So when did China start this Belt and Road Initiative project? It was in 2013. So China saw this as an opportunity. So in 2015, the economic blockade was very severe. Uh, Nepali in household, they did not get gas for cooking. The school students could not go to the school because the school vans did not have fuel in them. So it was a very severe economic crisis that happened because of the economic blockade. Again, here, Government of India has completely rejected this. So I'm reiterating this because I don't want to be officially wrong as such. But you can see to this in the media reports. So in 2015, there's an economic blockade, and then in the China saw this as an opportunity. So what did China do? So China immediately in 2015 signed multiple agreements with Nepal. So they signed multiple infrastructure agreements with Nepal under Belt and Road Initiative project. So what are the agreements that they signed, that China signed with Nepal is that China would be constructing airports along the north of Nepal, and China has built one of the world's best railway line in Tibet. So Tibet has one of the best railway lines in the entire world. So China promised Nepal that we will connect Nepal's railway line to the Tibet line. So Nepal accepted this. So Nepal accepted the offer. What was the offer by China? China told that you participate in Belt and Road Initiative project. We will build airports in Nepal, and we will build a railway network in Nepal and connect it with Tibet. And this Tibet railway network is connected to the port. So this was promised by Nepal in 2015. So Nepal saw this as an opportunity. Yeah. Okay. So please write down. Sorry, yeah, there was some technical issues. So write down here. 2015 till present time. Yeah. So write down 2015 till present time. 2015 till present time. So write down, quickly write down. Post the economic blockade, post economic blockade, post economic post economic blockade, post economic blockade in Nepal, post economic blockade in Nepal, in 2015, in 2015, yeah, in 2015, Nepal faced massive economic crisis. 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 Full stop. This reduced Nepal's trust on India. This reduced Nepal's trust on India. This reduced Nepal's trust. This reduced Nepal's trust on India. This reduced Nepal's trust on India. This reduced Nepal's trust on India. Full stop. Next one, right on. China, China used this used this as an opportunity. China used this as an opportunity to promote promote BRI, to promote Belt and Road Initiative project, to promote Belt and Road Initiative project BRI to Nepal. Full stop. Next line right on. Nepal participated in BRI. Nepal participated in BRI. Nepal participated in BRI. This has affected, this has created, this has created, this has created, this has created friction, this has created friction between India and Nepal. This has created friction between India and Nepal. India and Nepal. Okay. So next one, right on. Convergence of interest. Convergence of interest between India and Nepal. Convergence of interest between India and Nepal. Convergence of interest between India and Nepal. Fine. Okay. So that's what. Convergence of interest between India and Nepal. Okay, so see here, why the economic blockade took place. See here, why we should not go in detail again about this, because Indian government has officially told that India has not involved in this economic blockade. So please do not write in the exam also in the sense India has imposed economic blockade. Indian government has completely rejected this concept of economic blockade. But however, in reality, it happened. You have to be true, because there is video evidence is there. We have reports from international media reports. Fine. Okay. So the reason what happened was that, please see here. So this is Nepal. Okay. This is Nepal. Okay. So is Nepal. So in this region, in Nepal, the southern part of Nepal, this part of Nepal is called as Madhesi region. Okay, this part of Nepal is called as Madhesi. Okay, Madheshi people. So Madheshi people are have a very close cultural contact with UP Bihar. Matlab, in the sense, the Tarai belt of UP Bihar has very close contact with the Madheshi people. That is roti beti ka kabda. What is that? Roti beti ka rishta. So fine. Again here with this roti beti rishta, we are having very close contact with Madheshi people. In 2015 there was a new constitution, right? This constitution did not give adequate rights to the Madhesi people. It's something like this. In Nepal, the Pahadi people are the dominant people. So even though the Madhesi people, the population is 50 percentage, but in the Pahadi people are dominating the administration in Nepal. Fine, the Pahadi people are dominating the administration in Nepal. The 2015 constitution did not give adequate rights to the Madhesi people. Madhesi people are closely in link with Indians. So, but what India did was in 2015, again here, this is completely rejected by the government of India. But we have video evidence. What India did was, because in order to pressurize the government, Nepal government, to give rights to Madhesi, what Indian government did was, Indian government stopped, matlab, again unofficial, every whatever we are doing, it's completely unofficial. Indian government stopped the fuel supply to Nepal. Indian government stopped the gas supply to Nepal, ration supply, vegetables, all the essential commodities to Nepal was cut down. In the sense, it was not completely stopped as such. The amount of gas supply, fuel supply, ration supply was reduced, so much so that it was almost nearly 3 month long economic blockade. So 3 months, the people of Nepal suffered a lot. In the sense, school kids were not able to go to the school because their vans did not have fuel. People could not cook in their home because they did not have gas cylinders with them. So the economic blockade was very, very severe. And in the same time, China thought it's a good move. We can win over Nepal. So China thought that, okay, we'll engage with Nepal. So China pushed their Belt and Road Initiative project. Nepal bought it. So now China and Nepal are one of the close ally, have become very close ally after 2015 onwards. This is creating friction between India and China. Fine. Okay. Yes, China is very clever. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So fine, guys. Okay. So chala then. Tomorrow we'll continue. Fine. We'll continue with the class. So, but however, write down this point: convergence of interest between India and Nepal. Convergence of interest between India and Nepal. Fine. Okay. So chala then. So thank you, guys. Thank you. Good night. Good night.